We are coming to you live from the Intel Esports Arena here in Copenhagen, Denmark. You are joining us for Day 3, Week 1 of ESL Pro League Season 6. I am Chad Sponge Birchall. I'll be your host. I am joined by... whoa, boys, don't pull me off like that. I'm still new to this. The Serbian sensation, YNK, and the filthy Finn, Natu.
I like that.
How the bloody hell are you?
I'm great, Chad. How about you?
Nervous, as always.
Are you? You look pretty relaxed in that denim shirt.
Yeah, I've gone I'm trying to embrace Alex. Like, I'm trying to channel Alex, you know, go the...
Have you asked him for tips?
Have to do a lot of...
No, I haven't. He's on holidays right now.
Have to do a cool country, I heard.
Yeah. Denmark is a pretty cool country. I've been having fun. But I know that you've been a little bit sick, Natu. Do you want to give everyone an update on what's been going on?
Just been a bit of a cold. What's there to it,
well,
really?
I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. I thought we could add some kind of big reveal on the stream.
Kids going back to the kindergarten, they always bring something home, don't they? Just in time for the travels to come over here for a week.
And I haven't been spending much time with you, Yanko. You and Henry have been buddying up. What's been going on today?
Yeah, me and Henry are on the healthy lifestyle.
Hashtag 2017.
Yeah, we went to the gym, we went to the supermarket together, did some grocery shopping, all the exciting adult stuff that you expect to hear.
Came back with yogurt.
Yeah, I want to buy milk for my cereal, and I came back with yogurt. Even that is difficult to do.
You were pretty upset about that. You had your raspberries, you had your banana.
Yeah, I had like all the good stuff. Now I have to go again for me to get my breakfast.
Speaking of good stuff, we're going to review the standings. We missed the North American games last night, and if you missed them, we can all catch up together. There was some, I guess it was 4, probably 8 games over there. You know, the standings still with Optic towards the top, winning games on 150 to 200 ping, and Magic's boy and the crew, which is just insane.
Tells you a thing or two about their opposition, doesn't it?
Well, we don't want to get stuck too hard into North American Counter-Strike right now. We'll wait till Jason wakes up. He'll really be watching the stream. Then we can get into it. But no surprise to see SK at the top. CLG, they're playing pretty well. They had some hard games early on. Down the bottom of things, Luminosity, the third Brazilian team, 0-2. Not the best way you want to start the season, but they were going up against SK, so you don't expect them to take the Ws. I'm excited to see when Renegades play. You know, they got Jay-Z Walkings, 99 problems, but he ain't one. That'll be happening a little bit later on.
Well, we'll see if he ain't or is one.
I saw him in Leipzig. He was okay when he was playing for the Fnatic Academy. And switching over to Europe, we've got FaZe towards the top. They had a bit of a stumble last night, dropping a map to Mouse Sports, but they were able to pick it up on the second one on Mirage 16-14, I believe it was in the end. A big performance from Nico and Olaf. And then Heroic, we probably won't be seeing them up there for much longer, taking on Astralis a little bit later on tonight. Hellraisers and Big, they're 1 for 3. They're sitting middle of the table, but at least they played some games. Some of these teams haven't just yet.
True, Astralis bottom of the table, 0-2.
As expected, yeah.
Against G2, yeah, but they're going to have the Danish derby later tonight, as you alluded. So, sure, still very, very early in the season. I think for G2, one thing that you can already draw from their games is, you know, how inconsistent they may be. You could see the same play style pretty much across the 2 matchups that they've had against FaZe and against Astralis, and you can see how it can work and how it looks relatively good in the game against Astralis, and also not that good in the game versus FaZe.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, when their opposition is playing aggressively, kind of the unknown is a big factor in a game. G2 seem to be struggling. You know, they're playing against Astralis, a team they know kind of what to expect, and they seemed much more prepared.
Well, later on we do have Astralis versus Herug, the Danish derby, on Overpass and Inferno. But before that, we have G2 taking on North on Nuke and Cobblestone. We have 3 Danish teams coming up for you this evening. So that's on the mainstream. Those 2 matches will be taking place. And then followed by Envious and Hellraisers on the secondary stream, and Big taking on FaZe. That's going to be a very big challenge for those boys.
Yeah, see what you did there, Chad.
Thank you.
We'll see if they'll get phased by the game they had at the Major. I'm sure FaZe will be out for some blood and for some revenge.
Bit of revenge there for them.
For that Inferno loss. But yeah, FaZe, despite having a very, very skilled lineup, we were talking about how they can be exploited, their CT side, by a more tactical team, because they play the default style pretty much. They don't do much on their CT side. They're just like, yes, we have these amazing players, and we will wait for you to come at us, and then we're just going to kill you. So Big is a team, and it did show in that game at the Major that really can punish them for that approach with some of their tactics, set pieces, and just good structure.
However, they don't seem to be very happy with themselves right now, judging from the tweets they're putting out there. You know, ever since coming back from the break, they don't seem to be feeling the game as well as they had previously.
Takes some time.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of a time, obviously, to get into the the right pacing of things. So we'll see how it all pans out.
Okay, so up first we have G2 versus North, and the first map's going to be Nuke. We get the Betway odds here, and G2 being heavy favourites based off of, I suppose, the form that we've been seeing from them the last 2 nights. We've seen a lot of G2 boys. North, they're not looking like we haven't seen anything from them. You know, this is the honeymoon lineup once more.
This is, I mean, it's a debut with Valde, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't seen them before. Interesting change, obviously, to see him come in. The team
very unpredictable.
Yeah, very unpredictable. I don't think anyone expected him to be a part of this lineup. That they denied it for a long time, but we have it officially now. But no, I mean, it's a team that we discussed previously. North is that seem to be maybe even overthinking things a little bit.
Yep.
They seem to be very sound in the terms. I always felt like they were a good team of playing the defaults and super good at just grasping ground first of all, and then make a decision based off of what the opposition is doing afterwards. But it felt to me that sometimes it started to crumble because they have a lot of skill. They could switch things up too. They can play faster paced stuff. They could just basically let players go do things, give them a bit of more freedom, and I feel like they could get away with that too. Just switch things up a little bit here and there for them to be more unpredictable.
Yeah, before we get stuck too far into North, I want to start with G2 because we did see them on the first night, the second night, now we're seeing them on the third night, and we've kind of seen a different team. It was night and day from day 1 and day 2. They looked a lot better last night. They looked like they were playing, well, actually, to be fair, on the first evening as well, they were doing well individually, but they weren't doing well as a team. And then last night it seemed to click. They were making the crucial frags, winning the crucial rounds to break the economy of Astralis, and that's kind of all they needed, especially on the second map Inferno, where it was a blistering victory.
Yeah, I think that's the main point. They didn't do that much different compared to their first game. It's just that crucial rounds went their way, especially the pistol rounds. They won all 4 pistols in that matchup against Astralis, and that really goes a long way for a team like G2 to be able to have that strong start because of their play style. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be based on their individual players, and they need to have a little bit of room for mistakes, right? If they lose that gun round, they need to be in a position where they can rebuy again and keep pressuring on your economy. That's what we saw on the overpass game versus Astralis.
I feel like they were also just much more decisive in when they were hitting a bomb site in the Astralis game compared to FaZe.
Less spread out, yeah.
Yeah, because against FaZe, the individuals from FaZe were having too much time, clean angles all the time to be able to just do mowdowns and getting multiple kills without anyone retaliating.
And the last but not least, doesn't hurt when Shox has an amazing night.
Sure,
and I think he was basically leading on both maps.
Yeah,
it helps. But he's one of the people that we pointed out who needs to perform. I think, another thing to note is they have played, their first 3 matches are going to be FaZe, Astralis, and North. Those are 3 big teams to knock out the way, right? If they can take a map from North here, you'd be happy with that because later down the line you're going to be playing the likes of Big, you're going to be playing Heroic, Hellraisers, and they're going to be gimmies in terms of wins. And we actually do have a little graphic that we can bring up to show their next 3 matches and what they're going to be coming up against because they're playing a lot of hard matches in the first week. And this is maybe not the time. Well, I guess there's 2 sides to the coin, right? So the next match for Pro League is going to be against Mouse Sports, and that's not an easy one as well, so that's going to be quite difficult. And then for DreamHack Malmo, that'll be coming up where they have the group stage. Off the top of my head, I'm just trying to remember who was in their group.
It's not the Fnatic Envious Immortals group, or is it? It is. Fnatic Envious and Immortals, I think, are in their group. Nonetheless, you can see that they have one more game on Sunday versus Mouse Sports and DreamHack Malmo than Fnatic and Envious, and I don't think it's going to get any easier for G2 in any of these games. Mouse Sports have shown to be a formidable opponent in general in the past couple of months, and even now in Pro League, taking a map off of FaZe. Also, Fnatic looked relatively strong. I mean, you pointed out that that's the best you've seen them from a tactical side of things and team play-wise, using their utility. And last but not least, Envious, we saw G2 actually lose to them in the ESL 1 New York qualifier. So it's very difficult. There only could maybe point out LDLC, Godsend, and Hellraisers. As for me, those are the 3 teams where you're like, okay, we could expect a 2-0 here. Everyone else, map dependent, you can't really go in and say, yeah, this is an easy 2-0 for us.
You'd be happy with a 1-1, I'm pretty sure. Do you guys think a team like G2, it's important for them to perform well online before LAN? Now, all 3 of us are cut from the same cloth. We're going to say that, you're going to play a different brand of Counter-Strike on LAN. There's probably going to be more stock within the LAN games. But I think for a team that seems somewhat momentum-based and individually driven, like G2, playing online is probably a huge confidence booster. Playing well online is a huge confidence booster.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily always translate one for one, does it? But it does help, obviously. If if you're in a hot streak, if things are going your way, there's no reason why not to expect that you're going to do well in the LAN environment as well when you are probably focusing even that 10% more than you are in online games.
Or even more. But it's also a matter of, do you get complacent if you're playing amazing online, then you come to LAN and you just expect things to happen the same way. For G2 specifically, I would say that they do benefit slightly from perhaps having a good run coming into a LAN tournament, or maybe even more so, they would get a bit down on themselves if they had a very difficult period online prior to a tournament. I think most of it starts with the first game that they play on LAN, right? They're a team that within the one tournament, momentum means a lot for them.
And they could be having a hard time tonight on Nuke against North, a team who has been known to be fantastic on this map, or at least was one who adopted it early. I think the big storyline that we need to talk about straight away with North is the removal of Magix and kind of why that happened, and then moving to the addition of Valde, right? So let's start with Magix Boy.
I think a more interesting topic is, like, why has his play deteriorated so much? In the past couple of months, he was their best player, and then it was him and Config, taking turns and who is going to top frag for the team. And when the summer started, basically, or in period leading up to that, he really dropped off. Was it because of some roles changing within the teams and different positions that he had to take? We were talking about North being one of the teams that has changed a lot, trying to get over that last hurdle and get more titles under their belts. So for me, that's a very interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be the fact that them changing something in the team that Magix hasn't been able to adopt as well. I know a lot of players are very fragile for the kind of little changes that then maybe hurt their confidence a little bit. They don't feel the game as well in a certain role that they're given, and therefore you'll see their numbers going down.
Because when this was initially rumored to happen, the change or bringing in Valde into the team, it was instead of AZ, who has also had a very long string of poor performances. So it must be something more than just performance on the server that made them decide, okay, Magix is the one that needs to go.
So my little birdies told me that, well, things that I'd been hearing was that it was an attitude issue with him within the team. He didn't kind of mesh with the rest of the squad, and that's kind of
he's young, right? He's young, and you can easily, you can tell just by watching him play too, that he sometimes does get a little bit hot-headed. So
and carried away, definitely.
It's easy to call him out, like, for having an attitude when the team isn't performing and when his individual performance drops, right? And he was like carrying the team, then no one had a problem with his attitude. So that's something that I dislike, for it like becoming an issue only when the performance starts dropping. Like, you need to address that even when you're winning. If they worked on it then, maybe it wouldn't become an issue, moving forward like 6 months after.
It's the same thing with someone like Simple, right? I mean, things are going great, but then when there's issues, all of a sudden Simple's attitude and his immaturity becomes an issue, right?
Yeah.
So it's a winning team, they'll get a lot of things slide, but once there's a bump on the road, you start nitpicking all little things.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of speculation there, but something we don't have to speculate about anymore because they announced it very recently was Valde joining North, and I don't know if that's a surprise to anybody. We all thought it was going to be like that. He was, he wasn't in the squad. Here he is wearing some of the swag. I think we have a secondary. There we go. He's got the hoodie on there, looking all... Well, he's not looking very happy, is he? He could have a big smile on. But, him joining the team, I think, is a good addition. And I think, personally, that there's a chance for him to be the second star of the squad, and that's kind of what he needs to be geared up for. If you look at his performances within Heroic, he was the star of the team, but he seemed more like a solid player, more like a rock. He had the flair. He was able to be aggressive. He seems like he has a very good game sense for quite a young player still. But his position in the team, I think, if they can have someone being a solid, not a bomb site anchor, but someone who's consistently putting up 20 kills, and then Config's going off doing his thing, it could mesh very nicely.
I would compare him more to a player like Coldzera than I would to of a Simple or an Eco. Doesn't run around the map as much and tries to find openings and has some crazy shots. He's more of a stable guy, as you mentioned, a rock, right? You can put him in a position and count on him to hold that area for you, get at least 1 or 2 kills, always perform, and every team needs a player like that. So we were talking about it at times with North, with both Magix and Config in the team. Is it too much aggression at the same time? Both trying to make plays. This way you get a bit more balance with Config being able to do whatever he wants now that he's more or less the sole hyper-aggressive player in the team, and then you have the likes of Valde and AZ to come in behind and to mop up.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this team, you have Config already, who's like the super rebellion, who's just running around, you know, especially on a map like Nuke, you'll see him on yard just pushing that what used to be the tier red in the middle of the yard, a lot of the time just being all over the place. You kind of need to have someone to be the closer, right? I mean, North used to have that in Rubino back in the day, and they've not really had that since. So now having a massively upgraded version, obviously, in the team, and being able to have that rock solid presence is definitely going to be, should be an improvement.
For sure, and you slightly touched on it there, Yanko. I think that AZ being getting a little bit more room now, because Magic's obviously was very aggressive. AZ was known to be a bit of a more entry frag based star back in the day before he joined this team, and he then was kind of filling in Rubino's position as more of a support player. We didn't see a lot from him until more recently, where they did move positions around. They put Magic's boy as the anchor on the B-bomb side. They had to move on Mirage. They moved a couple of other bits and pieces around, and then AZ started to perform better and better. So if he can come in and continue on that level going upwards, Valde can click with the team, be that rock, be that... I like the Cold Zero reference. I think that's fantastic. If he can do that for them, that's what they need, because they already have Cajun as the very stable player swinging around with the AWP, Mr. Consistent in terms of his attitude and what he can bring to the squad that way. And then hopefully that thing can calm things down for MSL, and he can get back to that DreamHack Las Vegas form where he changed his sensitivity and was a god. So if we can see that again, this team could be onto something.
Just save it for a big tournament. Don't change it now. Like change it at Malmö or at New York or something like that.
Save yourself for it. But if we want to get into a few more map specifics, I suppose we might have a little bit more time. So I know that this is a map that we did talk about North having a lot on it. Do you think they would have changed much coming in when they've added a new player?
Maybe some, but not too much, especially not in the beginning. Good thing for them is that Valde also played Nuke in his old team. Heroic was a Nuke team, I mean, a very good team on Nuke at that, so it's not going to be so difficult for him to get adjusted to the map as it is, for example, for Guardian to play Cash with FaZe. And I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. It's a very interesting matchup because both teams like to play Nuke. I don't think we're going to see it as much in this season when you get to ban a decent amount of maps, so to speak. So I'm very interested to see how G2 actually approach this, and will they go for more aggressive plays towards Yard to try to disrupt North early on in their Yard control.
Yeah, I mean, North is super good at, again, along an overpass. I think Nuke is one of the maps as well where you can dissect it into the two parts. You take over Yard, you use those smokes usually to make your way downstairs, or make it seem like you are going downstairs. But once you do, also takes a lot of coordination to be able to take that lower bomb site, utilizing smokes and Molotovs accordingly to then just swarm around the bomb site. And North is one of the teams that are just really, really good at just making sure that it's super hard to see just to hold it.
Well, let's see if G2 can take it to North on one of their most preferred maps. They are ready to go. Harry and Henry standing by, ready and waiting. Take it away, boys.
Yes, thank you very much, Chad. Harry, how are you feeling today?
You know, I'm feeling ill, but I'm looking forward to this.
I'm going to do what I can.
Win-win.
I'm going to do what I can to help you out. But we have got some good Counter-Strike coming up. It's going to be North versus G2. We've seen a lot of G2 recently. They've had their ups and downs. Yesterday was much better than the first day. Are we feeling confident they can deliver a good set today?
Once again, I mean, you know, they're a team that is so hit and miss, I think, in regards to how they actually play. Emotionally, I feel like, you know, they're a very emotional team, and that's why we see them. If they're doing well, then they just completely dominate. There's no stopping these guys. But if they get off to a bad start, it's always been very, very hard for, you know, the core of these players to actually lift themselves back up.
Well, we'll see what they can do here today. Obviously, the new edition of North is going to be interesting. I have to say, I'm going to put it out there, I thought AZ would be the first player to go from North originally. I thought Major's boy had proven himself. Sure, he's been a little bit of a slump recently, I guess, but ultimately I think he's been an amazing performer, generally speaking, for North. I thought AZ hasn't really found his real place within the team yet. He hasn't really impressed me that much. I always thought he was an amazing player, but maybe not so much in this environment. But maybe this is the change they needed to kind of solidify themselves as obviously a top Danish team. We'll see what happens as we get into Nuke here. We'll be G2 starting on the T side, and we'll have Shoxy, NBK and Apex with smokes. That, to me, suggests we're going outside. Wall of smokes, trying to do a fast play towards the secret steps. We'll see where that comes in. You know, the smokes is kind of LDLC style. The first team to start throwing these really early smokes from T-spawn. And we'll see whether they can do anything with it. All 5 players, I think, heading towards outside.
Yeah, Cajun going to be up in heaven. Doesn't spot anything out instead. Going to be looking to see AZ try and step up, which he won't be able to. Body actually able to find him. Valde, he's the other man within the site, trying to keep these guys at bay. Kenny finds one more in the meantime. Valde's tapping away, and he actually takes 2, so that's the bomb dropped. Body and Shox. Well, they were probably feeling confident into this. Body, he clearly still is, turns us back into even odds, 2v2. Bomb is dropped, but Shox can get that for free. He was able to find Valde, and that was the one man who was keeping an eye on it. Config slowly but surely sneaking in from ramp, starting this slow push and just going to be sneaking on in. That could make all the difference as he starts to wrap through into the site. Up on rafters, KGB's up on A. Could try dropping in through vents, come in from behind. Shox has been afforded that bomb. But right now, G2, 40 seconds left. They have to try and make their mind up sometime soon. Convict's wormed his way into the site. Body's starting to now wrap back up through Secret along with Shox.
Yeah, it's looking quite cool, actually. 30 seconds remaining. We'll have a look at the setup for KGB. He's actually by the vent, though, so he's got a decent position here. It's good chance he gets refragged, though. I don't see him finding both frags, especially if Shox is hitting shots like that. It's going to be a 2 versus 1 now. Config has to come at the vent. Quite a good chance, and he's going to fly up through the fire as well. It's a bit desperate there, Harry, but he didn't really have a choice. He waits there for 5-6 seconds, allows them to plant, and then they've got perfect positioning on him, or he can try and surprise him by pushing up like that, and he manages to get found. But Valda, I have to say, nice start to the game from him. Lovely shots there. Not enough to win the round, but still impressive performance. And nonetheless, this will be a forced buy from the CD side. They're going all in on Nuke. You can see KGB, obviously the designated AWPer for North with the scout in hand. And 4 sets of armor with CZs, UMP for Vald, who got a couple of frags in the previous. 3 rifles for G2. The squeaky door open, and we're going down the vents. And Apex could be greeted here. Well, indeed, Valda waiting for him with that UMP.
That is the opening man found. KGB still going to be locking down outside, but the man advantage taken for North early on. The rest of the guys from G2, not really sure where to head from here. Kenny's going to try and make his way outside, but he has to be worried because KGB's here with the scout. We know he's strong with this. Spots Kenny. Does take some damage, doesn't have armor, but he's able to do a lot of damage in return. Body and Kenny both tagged. Painted up with damage from the scout. That's going to make it a hell of a lot easier for these SMGs, for the CZs up on North to do damage.
4 on 4. The advantage obviously lies with the French side, as they do have outside control here as well, and the greater firepower. It's MBK is going down towards Secret, trying to find that first frag, but he won't find much just yet. Config is down towards lower, but he's holding the window room for now, and he's got the MP7. Not going to get much more done than 1 frag there. Could be pinstering towards outside. He can't see Body making his way towards heaven. We'll see if he can get anything done there, as there's no CD presence on the other side as of yet. They have left the upper bomb side relatively open here.
Shox going to be flashing through the other guys. That's allowed Body to take this peek as he goes soaring on in with the UMP. Able to find the first. Down goes MSL. The rest of the guys wrapping on through. That smoke keeps AZ at bay, but he's going to push round it. Spots out the man. And Minion does manage to deal with him. That's MBK to hit the deck. The bomb makes its way to the site and has to go down with so little time left. Won't get denied. North still rotating in, and Config with this MP7 wreaks some havoc. Down goes Body, man advantage taken here for North. They don't have kits, so they have to be quick here. Kenny's the man in the site with Igalil, goes in with the spray. Shox able to dispatch of 1 more elsewhere, and Kenny tapping away within the site, takes them both, and there we go. It was getting a bit desperate for G2, but they managed to pull it back.
It does get a bit desperate for them, but you're absolutely right. The headline is the T-side win against the force buy of North there, and they're absolutely fine. This has to be the full eco now from North. G2 manages to keep 2 rifles up. They don't have to invest too heavily into this. They can bring out some MAC-10s they want to, some more SMGs. A couple of AKs coming through. You can see Apex, like I said, not investing too much. Keeps on the P250 here. No nades. Probably really throwing himself in. He might have a decent spawn here as he goes towards outside. Flashbang out. Just try and face that position together and look for any CTs to take down here. It's going to be Kenny S and Shoxy with him. Not really much in terms of outside presence for the CTs, and why would they? They've only got silenced USPs to work with here. A P250 for Valda, but that's about it. KGB goes down. Shoxy with the first headshot here, and Config, he's in a world of trouble. There's no way he finds a kill there, I'm afraid. And we'll see whether he can do anything here, as we do have 2 players left. Config, okay, I take it back. He gets 1 kill, still alive at the air conditioning unit, and manages to get 2 frags, Harry. I don't know how he manages that. I didn't believe, but I should have done. He managed to get 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to believe in Config. He's the man who's frequently put his life on the line and pulled off things that we didn't really think he'd be able to get away with. Luckily enough, they're able to stop him before he did too much damage there with the USP. Still, I mean, 2 frags on fully bought up players, not investing anything on the side of North. That's pretty fantastic. And now the buy comes in. KGB going to be with the trusty AWP. No kits, though. That's going to make things tricky for them.
Definitely. That's the problem with Forcebuy in that second round. You can see the almost non-existent utility they have available here. No incendiaries, 2 smokes remaining, no kits. They do have the AWP, sure, but is it enough to win the round? I'm not so sure. That Galil becomes very powerful at this point as well. Just as powerful as an AK, really, but a bit easier to control the spray. We'll see whether G2 can capitalize at this point. They've got everything they need, all the smokes, the flashbangs, but they're not going towards outside just yet. They're experimenting towards the ramp room, body room. Going to be trying to find the first kill there. We do have AZ in a very defensive position holding that ramp. As you can see, that's a bit of a one-kill situation. Fall back down towards lower and change your line. As we have KGB watching outside, of course, with that AWP. Going to be smoked out by the looks of things, but Config's coming to back him up. They have to fight for the frags here. They can't allow full execution to come in. Config going to be getting that kill for sure as he finds MBK.
And that position down on Secret is so strong because now Config just walks away. They've taken the man advantage, and KGB, he's the one to extend it that much more. Comes up trumps in the duel with the AWP on G2. That was Kenny to go down. Body. He's not looking too healthy either. He has fallen. Apex and Shox are the 2 players that remain. Shox going to have the AWP as it gets thrown forward. They've lost MBK. He's the one who's actually been picking that up as of late. Instead, it's Shox, returning it into the hands of what used to be their secondary AWP, so we know he's capable of it.
Yeah, in the 5-on-2, I'm not so sure, but we'll see what he can do here. Decent frags, as I said, the cities had to work for them. They couldn't just sit back and allow an execution to come in or allow G to have any sort of outside control. But Apex, he's finding something here. A nice headshot there towards the ramp. We did say AZ by himself. He doesn't necessarily have to be in the ramp in the 5-on-2 situation. He could just be falling back towards lower, allowing ramp to be open. But now he goes down. Still not a huge problem here, but towards CT spawn. That's a nice shot from Cajun B as he takes down Apex. The round will time out. Shoxy saves the AWP, but they've got money for days. They should be absolutely fine buying into the next round. Good news is for North, generally speaking, is they do keep 4 players alive there. And the reset, definitely still a problem for them, but for now, looking pretty decent. They'll stick on the AWP on KSB for sure, and they pick up a couple of AKs as well, and they start to get some utility to take into round number 5.
Kenny's got the AWP back. Cajun B still going to be the real threat to him there. Config this time, he's the one watching outside along with Cage, and they're going to go for the 2-man setup there once more. G2 taking it typically slowly as Valdi repositions here out on the A-bomb site up on top of the hut. Tries to catch anyone off guard if they come walking on through. Cajun looking like he's going to be falling back to this CT angle. Still has Config out in Warehouse. They've got that crossfire set up, so you can go for a bit of a bait and switch here. Cajun B rally shots out, they focus on him, and then that's where Config comes pouncing out.
Working for that pick right now. G2 boost the player up. Oh, DB Kenny S. We know how deadly he can be with the AWP. Cajun B, not known to be a massively aggressive AWP. He holds the defensive line here. Seeing if anyone goes towards silo. Spots one. Should be able to find this frag. There it is. Easy does it. Takes out MBK. Now that's the hard work done, Harry. He can fall back at this point. Doesn't have to challenge any further. It's cool they can go towards Secret. I'd expect we'd see some sort of rotation down towards lower. But look at Config. He's still in the garage here, looking to fire. And I don't think they'll suspect him in that position, but he becomes a little bit useless once they make their way down towards Secret.
Yeah, all he's really good for now is holding off for these rotations back up. And with how G2 are positioned, I don't think they're too keen on the idea of rotating back just yet. Shox, he's going to wait passively with the bomb. Holds the angle, waits to see if anyone pushes down behind them, while Kenny and Apex, they're the 2 players trying to entry down into the B-bomb site. There are players here primed and ready to try and keep them away. It's Valdi. Body going to duck down through vents. Okay, they end up doing... Maybe a bit of a miscommunication there as Valdi holds up on the rafters, finds the first, goes back for more, takes 2, takes 3. Valdi steps up, bomb down, and it's all on the back of the latest addition to this North roster. Fantastic stuff from the young day, no time left, and G2 trying to save the AWP, but Valdi goes hunting.
Well, that's not bad at all. Valda stepping up there towards our lower bomb site. They knew that G2 were heading towards it. Like we said, KGB did the hard work. He got that first pick, taking down MBK, and then working in the vents there, making his way down towards lower. It's Valda doing a great job there as he manages to find 4 kills. That's just really fantastic work. You can see they had no idea as to where he could be positioned. Right above them in the bomb site, finds 3 kills, takes down Kenny as well, and now we have a position where G2 are going to be on a very low buy indeed. Config in that same position we saw him in the previous round towards the garage, and indeed AZ towards ramp. He could catch some interactions here. 3 players in front of him, but a decent smoke should buy him some time.
Got the similar setup now outside. Config playing over in the garage. Damage being done though as MSL takes the aggression down towards Squeaky, but he's going to get found. Kenny Does manage to trade that out. Still going to be the man advantage up for North here, but Apex, look at him, he's sneaking through outside. He has to be wary, because Config is holding the angle. He doesn't bother keeping an eye on it, and Config is allowed just to pounce on out. Take that one for free. Now Body and Kenny, that's all that remain. They're going to flash themselves out towards A. Check the close angles, but it's Valdi over towards Vent that catches them off guard. Kenny has to trade this, and Valdi's not stopping as he gets to, once again, cements around for North.
Yeah, he's looking really good today, isn't he? Fired up. Fresh from the player break and a new team as well. This is what we're talking about when we have that honeymoon period perhaps as well. He's playing to his absolute best standards here. Really impressive to see. He's always been a fantastic player coming from the heroic lineup. Always was one of their stars, and he just seems to be boosting the strength of the North side right now. Very impressed. And it has to be a full eco for G2 here. P250s, a couple of Glocks, and no armor, no nades. This is a guaranteed round for North. And Vald, he does get a headshot at the start by one of those P250s, but still alive for now as he finds his first kill.
He's not looking too healthy, though. It's going to be sent railing back into the site. Spots the players out. Going to be relying on some teammates to rotate in to try and help him as he hears all the footsteps. It's MSL to step up to the mark. Finds one. His nade dispatches of the other, and MSL takes all three. So there we go. A quick, clean, flawless round out from North, and that's exactly what they needed. Look at the money on that CT side.
Yeah, it's getting there now. The fact of the matter is they have Cajun B, the AWPer of the team, with $10,000. That's going to be helping them out tremendously there. So we'll see what they can do heading to round number 8. This is one of the rounds I'm changing Cajun B's position, right? I'm going to be sending him towards ramp potentially here. Just mixing things up and showing that you don't have to send the AWP outside every single time. That could be happening here. He goes towards Heaven for now, but this is nice. He goes towards the catwalk. So just keeping sure that he's in a different position every time so they can't pre-fire him. It'll get a little bit too used to it. And he's got a gap in the smoke as well. This could work out very nicely for him. They don't commit towards outside just yet, but he's given the call. They're not heading towards outer. So they've used those smokes to potentially suggest that's what they're doing, but Cajun B with full information, he knows they can be going towards ramp here. And he's got to rotate. There's a bucket load of damage but can't find the frag. He dinks one and does a few shots to others, but it's going to be a fast, lower play here from G2.
And Molotov actually perfect to keep them at bay. Valdi is the one to step up to the occasion once again. They're going to be peeking him. Throws out the smoke for the other side. Things get a bit hot over where he is, though, and MBK picks him up. Config trying to keep them in this, but the trade comes in as MBK, he's the man on the entries. That's the man advantage in the favour of G2. Apex going to give himself a little hole to peek through. MSL and Cajun B. They're the two players rotating in. Kenny has to try and get this bomb down, but he's being wary as the push from MSL comes down through ramp. Molotovs to keep the Vent player at bay, but they still don't have information on MSL, who is going to be able to drop MBK. We're into the 2-on-2, but Apex trades. And now it's Cajun B, the AWPer. For North, he lands the first in through the hole, gets caught out in the open. Apex doing damage, but Cajun B dancing back and forth, has plenty of time. There's no angle here for Apex to try and peek. Cajun baiting him in, but Apex lands the shot, finds the angle, saves the AWP as well. 3K for him, 2 for MBK. And that's what it takes for G2 to get themselves the 4th.
Cajun B with some high-octane shots there with the AWP, but it's not quite enough. So as I said, G2 trying to fake out. They're going towards Secret and maybe pull a rotation away from the ramp room. But Cajun B, he had the gap. And even though they had the information that G2 very fast towards the ramp, AZ unable to find a frag whatsoever. He gets taken down and they go straight towards that lower bomb site. They find the frag towards the side, which is Fowler, who's been a thorn in their side throughout this first half. And they win the round of the 1v1. It wasn't clean, but they managed to put it off. And it's going to be Body with the first frag here in round number 9 as he finds Valda towards that squeaky door. So we know the money's good for North, generally speaking, but for now, lose this round, they could be down to an eco. G2 will be biding their time, not giving anything away as Config once again towards the secret steps.
Yeah, he's been causing them so many problems from this angle. Shock, so you're going to be holding it, and he lands it. Down goes Config. They extend the man advantage that much more. Apex going to dispatch a Cajun B in the meantime. And MSL and AZ, they're sent reeling back. 2v5. MSL, surrounded by the deceased bodies of his friends. Trying to reposition within the A-bomb site. AZ flanking round outside. Spots one, goes back for a little bit more, but holding the angle is going to be Apex. The trade reigns in. And now it's all on one man, the brains behind North. Got to show that he's not just brains, he's got some brawn behind him as well as he finds himself in the 1v4 on his lonesome out towards A. Holding the angle, and Apex connects the shot. 3K for him, as he is showing he's in good form right now. G2, they retake that lead. They're going to go 5-4 up.
It's a big round for G2 to win now. They're coming to life here on the T side of Nuke. It is going to be the force buy from North. It's not the worst in the world. You can see they still have the AWP. With utility as well, the only real compromise is that we've got AZ down to the UMP, who's been very quiet. He's playing ramp. It's a difficult position there, but he's just not really fragging whatsoever. He's actually dying, which is a bit of a problem. If you're going to play towards a ramp room, we need you either finding one frag or staying alive with nothing. He's getting the information and falling back. He's having the worst of both worlds, dying with not really much taken away from it. But here we go, number 10. Damage inflicted to both sides. MBK feeling the brunt of it though as he goes down to 25 HP. KGB once again challenging towards outside. Not going to be in the garage, but it's on the CT ramp trying to find the first kill. Looking towards Silo now, not overextending. And we'll have a look at the G2 setup here. They've got Apex and Kenny S coming towards outside. They've got the AWP as well, but there it is. AZ once again in the open with that UMP. When you've got the lesser weaponry, you want to be close range and then just falling back after a few shots. He's going down with almost nothing here. Bit of damage inflicted, but once again, man advantage for G2.
KGB is well aware he has to try and step up. It's MSL to pull things back as they have the 3-man set up outside. Kenny, so many angles to keep an eye on. The timing was nearly perfect, but Config is allowed to slip down through secret. Kenny's going to go undetected outside, though, for the time being. The rest of G2 have players over towards ramp. Body just going to be holding it, doesn't commit to anything just yet. With only 30 seconds left, we have to see them go for something soon. It looks like it's going to be the A play. Holding body over on ramp, waiting to see if he can catch these rotations off. Kenny outside, looking to try and assist as best he can. And Valdi, well, he stepped up in these last couple of rounds, but he's got to try and do it once again, as he is the man in the A-bomb site. If he can buy time, then this round could be theirs up in heaven. His teammate will go down. Valdi trying to hold back the coming tide. A Frenchman takes the first. Dying round the site, make that 2. And now Kenny, he's the last one left, back against the wall. Valdi peeks out, but he's going to fall prey to Kenny, and there's no time left. And all Config had to do was stay away from A. That will be North to find themselves a 5th. The equalizer comes in.
They do win the round, that's absolutely correct, but the problem is there, one player survives, and a difficult buy for them, generally speaking. They'll save the M4, I think, just about, but Kenny is saving his AWP to the next round as well. G2 can certainly buy here. We can see a mishmash of weaponry, a Max 7, a Scouts, 3 M4s, and not really much else to speak of. It's going to be Valda with no utility whatsoever. Cajun B, going to be a decent scout player. We'll see if we can get anything done here. And I think G2 just keep going towards ramp. Why wouldn't you? It's where AZ's really been struggling. He hasn't really found any kills there whatsoever. 2 and 7 right now. Use the nade. That's a better position for him. That's where you can generally get a few shots off of this. Drop down to the ramp straight away. This is nice right now. Just buying time for the team. Just smoke at the start. Generally speaking, you want a teammate to come with you at the very start. Throw their smoke, and then you can buy yourself extra time and have yours when you need it. There's a jump shot. Actually hits Apex. Taken down to 31 HP. So Cajun B at least has intel as to where a player is and does some damage as well.
Yeah, with Config still holding that aggressive angle down towards B. The man who comes his way going to be significantly tagged up. Cajun B's been spotted outside. The man from Secret decides to exit. They all start to come his way. Kenny's here on Secret Stair, starts to make his way back outside. Going to be checking the angle. It shocks to go aggressive. No one going to come and help out Cajun B, who currently finds himself stuck over by Old Secret. Just holding the angle, has to be cautious. He's only got the scout, and unless he connects with the head, he should go down here. It's going to be very tricky for him to stay alive much longer. The timing couldn't be worse. Gets caught looking away, and MBK will behead him as a result. Man advantage for G2. Outside control. It's MSL, the Max 7 hero, but instead he gets nothing done. It's Valdi, the latest addition to take 3. Make that 4. Valdi is on fire. One off the ace right now. It's Apex who snuck his way into the back of the site, trying to play this perfectly. Takes the first. Valdi, though, gets the ace. Fantastic stuff from the latest addition to this North roster as he sends the Frenchman home.
Valdi is playing like a man possessed right now. That's unbelievable. 18 kills, 6 deaths. He keeps finding multi-frags just when North needed as well. This time from the rafters, that spray control is divine. And the 4th kill, I can't believe that Kenny S didn't take him down there. I thought he'd have in the information, but Valdi too fast for him, and that's a huge round for North to win. They had scouts, Mag 7s, no utility, and there it is. It's going to be a ramp rush here, and that's where they've been struggling tremendously. AZ gets 1 kill this time up against the force buy. Will it be enough? It seems like it might be. Cajun B needs the no-scope here, and now we do have at least a trade for G2. This is working out quite nicely for them. They'll go to an AWP and the AK-47. Shox, he's been playing so well recently. Yesterday was such an amazing performance from him. Trying to continue that form here, but lovely positioning from Config. Finds the bomb as well. That should be the round, but Shoxy still trying to win this round for his team. He'll be hiding in towards the window room, and I think he gets his frag just about. There it is. Lovely shot.
And with that, he's been afforded the bomb. MSL sneaking round through ramp. Shox turns his attention instead towards that side. From here, he could duck in through A or head down through secret. Either way, he's going to be avoiding the conflict unless the peek is perfect. MSL spots him. He sees him going down through secret, so he gets the information. Now he'll start his own rotate into ramp. Keeps with the Famous. Bomb plant looking to come in from Shox. He's going to try and stick it. MSL takes the peek now. Spots him. Connects the shot. Shox goes down. Bomb plant denied. And that's North to get themselves a 7th, but by the skin of their teeth.
Ramp rush from G2 there, managing to bring it down to a 2-on-2, upgrading their weaponry, but Config with a lovely position to bring it down to a 2 versus 1, and North to win the round in that position. It's going to be 3 rounds in a row for them. Another buy, getting plus is the force buy for G2. They're going to have a PT-50 Galil, 3 AKs, limited utility. Not looking amazing, but they know the money's weak for North as well. They keep getting them down to the clutch situations. Rush upper, and Valve, he can't find the shots as of yet. There's one, MSL joining in as well, as he gets a couple of frags here, but body with the 3-man. It's going to be a 2-on-2 situation, make it a 2-on-1. 4 kills on body. What an absolute stellar performance this round has been from him. Looking for the ace here. Config, they know where he is as he jumps in towards the hub. Surely this round's in favour of G2 as the upper rush here, and there it is, body with the ace, Harry. What a beautiful round from him. It was an upper rush, his teammates dropping like flies around him, and he hits every single shot. Let's just experience this now, and we'll see how he managed to make this work in his favour.
I mean, there's just no stopping him. Look at this, man. He knew he had to try and step up. He's the one that normally rises to the occasion for G2, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Top of the board for his team. The bite, if that's what you want to call it, does come in from North. You got the Mag 7 up for MSL. Everyone else in with the Deagles, with the exception of Cajun. Smoke for Config. Gives them a little bit in the way of utility. And Cajun, he's the one holding outside, but he's only got the P250. Config to find the first. Trey comes in. The P250 trying to do damage. Valdi gets one in the meantime. Make that 2. Valdi mopping these guys up, and now it's just Body and MBK. They could actually throw this one away to the Deagle buy. Body desperately trying to reclaim some territory outside. MSL takes the peek and gets the info. Easy lands that shot with the Deag. And now MBK's the last man left. Jumps on down. They know exactly where he is. He has to try and get this bomb, and they're just all surrounding it like moths to a flame. They've been bought in. And MBK hears them coming in with a push. MSL on the back of the Mag 7 wins that round out for North, 8-6. Fantastic stuff from these guys, as they have shown they're just as proficient with these forces as they are with the rifles.
Yeah, there's not many people that can keep up with the French when it comes to force buys, but North doing a very good job of it. The Deagles working out tremendously there. It's going to be round number 15. Quite a fast first half here as we get into the final round. Galil and 1 AK. A few upgraded pistols here. Some utility to work with. And we'll see whether they can cause any damage here as they deploy the smokes towards the outside once again. Config ready and waiting. No AWP this time on the CT side. Flashbangs coming in from the French side. We're going to have the bomb out there with 4 players as well. They're going to have a player holding towards lobby, looking to get down squeaky door eventually here, but Config surely going to find easy frags here. The spray's not on, but manages to take down the frag as it recovers.
Yeah, I mean, they should be easy frags, but somehow he makes it look difficult. MSL tries to rise to the occasion, which he will. Shot in the back by Shox as the backstab comes in. Bomb drop, though. Going to be tricky for the lone G2 player to try and make his way back into this one. If he even tries to cross it out, he lands that shot. He's got himself the M4 now, but there's no ammo in it. Instead, relegated back to the P250, but somehow he's made it work. Turned it into the 1v2. Shox is going to have to be positively electric right now as he changes things up. There is that flash out towards Heaven, trying to sell the fact that he's rooted around on rafters. You can see it's got Azi's attention. KHMB's a little bit worried about it too. But instead, he's wrapping round. Taking this very long approach to doing it. Hazy. It's going to be checking it. They've got so many angles left to check. He threw the fake flash out from Heaven as well. Has to check it. Finds the first, but Hazy going to be able to beat him to it faster on the trigger, and that will be a 9-6 half.
Well, it's the first showing from Vald there, and I have to say, he's come out of the trap hot, looking very, very good indeed. Finishes with almost close to 20 frags, looking incredibly sharp, and here's some of the replays from him. We'll see if we can continue that good form as we enter the second half. Do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the second half. G2 versus North. It's North with the advantage, but now it's 9-6 they move it to the T side, but still anyone's game. G2 very proficient on the CT side and with the pistols as well. Win this pistol round, they're right back into this game. One smoke, one Molotov. It's AZ who'll be carrying the utility. And it's looking like they're heading towards ramp. AZ did have a very quiet game, 5 and 10. And we'll see whether he can continue to maybe find some frags as we get into the second half here. Towards ramp they go. There is a player at the very back. Kenny S. What a defensive angle. Being baited in by his teammates. I like this a lot. Kenny S. could be set up tremendously here.
Yeah, he's going to let them cross. Takes the peek out. He's going to go running in straight behind them. He has got a man turning back round, but no! Kenny pounces, takes the first and the second. Goes in for a little bit more, but MSL does manage to get the trade. The patience nearly pays off, but it shocks the body to start to do the damage. Valdo's all that remains, and he will fall to Apex as the trade comes in. So, nice play there from Kenny. Patience is a virtue, and that man is full of it.
That was such a lovely setup. You did see that building up. We had Apex at the very mouth of the CT ramp. He's holding in there. He's baiting them all in. Kenny S just waiting behind the box, hoping that no one checks it. They don't. Why would you? You're trying to rush towards the lower, get down there as quickly as possible. He comes behind for the backstab there. 2 frags. That's job done. He's already thrown a spanner in the works at that point, and it's going to be the pistol needed by G2 picked up, and we will have the force buy in response there. We have AZ with a Zeus, interestingly enough. Not sure that's a misfire. I'm not really sure what that's going to do for you on the T side, but he's got it anyway. Hoping to get down the vents potentially there. I guess that's the idea behind it. Get down the vents as quickly as you can and wait for CT to come behind you.
Yeah, but similar to what we saw Kenny do, look at Apex. He just slipped right through their own smokes. Going to look to try and turn it against them. The rest of North start rushing down in towards B. They are going to get full control of the site. Apex hot on their heels, though. He's the man who's trying to make things tricky for them. Finds one on occasion B. Kenny takes the aggression, drops out MSL from control, and Config able to take one back in return, but then they lose Valda. Leaving it now on AZ and Config. 2v4 bomb in control from Apex, and Config tries to come through to deal with him. Has support from AZ. The damage being done. Should be no way they get this bomb back. The smoke rains in, rotates coming through from the rest of G2, and it would be absolutely insane if somehow they pull this back, but Config, he's the man to try and do it. Well, fall all onto him as AZ goes down trying to pick that bomb up. Config 1v3, 11 HP and a dream.
Yeah, I think it will turn into a nightmare pretty quickly for him, though, as he goes down in the vents. So, I was questioning what AG was going to do with that Zeus. That's quite an interesting idea. If you can get down the vents very quickly and just sit there with the Zeus, anyone who drops down, you're going to insta-kill them, right? So that's quite cool. Idea at least. Didn't really work out for him, but still, I like the approach. We don't really get to see the Zeus used in very creative ways these days. That's one that certainly has some legs to it. But we'll get into round number 3 here. Nothing really working out for North in that round. They got a couple of kills, but that's about it. This has to be the full eco here. You can see Apex has that P250. Happy to try and farm some frags with the pistol. He knows they'll have no armor here. Smoke from the CD side. Good grenade as well. It's going to do a bucket load of damage. It's getting to find the first frag. Getting dinked up, but they've only got Glocks. Doesn't do too much damage, and he'll find 2 frags here. Should be the clean sweep. Nothing to really write home about. And 5 players surviving for G2, but a chance at the old bonus round. I did see Shoxy throw away an MP9 there. Didn't want to take that to the next round. He dropped the AWP for Kenny S and gets given an M4 there. So they're not going to be messing around with any sort of SMG. So they keep the FAMAS, but throw away those smaller weapons. As the HE grenade that we said did a load of damage. And Kenny S, pretty standard frags here, to be honest. Nothing to get that excited about, but still, the buy coming in from North. We are tied up at 9-9.
Yeah, it looks like Shox, he's going to be the one to try and watch outside, playing it from CT. Side of North, they're just going to go rushing straight on through, throw down that wall of smoke, start to try and progress outside. Shox holding the angle very, very passively, instead waiting to see if anyone sneaks up through rafters. Going to be looking instead to Apex to get the information on these players that are down in secret. The Molotov keeps them at bay. Fade rains in, doesn't find too much damage. MSL somehow takes 5 HP's worth from that. Smoke goes down, holds them back, and is going to keep them away from B for the time being. Kenny's rotated in up to heaven to try and deny them rotating back outside. So now they find themselves trapped here in secret. They've used almost all their smokes. Cajun B, he's the only man left with one, so they can't actually fall on out. They're essentially stuck here. They have to try and fight for control of vents if they want to change their line of sight out towards A. That last solitary smoke going to be used to facilitate this cross. And Apex, he's just got to keep them here, buy time for his teammates. They have a great idea as to where North currently are. And he's going to be doing a fantastic job of just that.
Good job, you're right, from North. Manages to get towards lower, but Apex knows they're there. Biding his time. Wants to delay him as long as possible, make it uncomfortable. As he manages, oh, I thought he gets that frag for sure, but MSL takes him down. Time ticking away, 30 seconds here. MBK, he'll be coming in from the ramp room. Kenny S finds a lovely shot, so does MBK. Now things become very tricky for the North side as Kenny S keeps finding kills with that AWP. It's absolute pandemonium down here. It's very difficult to keep track of who's finding the frags. A little deathmatch arena in that lower bomb site when all 10 players are fighting in that position. There's Kenny S coming in from the ramp room and managing to find all the kills required. And as we said, Apex, I thought he would do the damage there, but it's MBK and Kenny S denying the plan over and over again, and North couldn't get anything done after finding such good secret control at the very start of the round. Just to note as well, a lot of teams are using those very early T-spawn smokes now, Harry, instead of waiting to go to the fences, then throwing them. They want to throw smokes as quickly as possible and then have the option to go towards ramp as well, so you don't have to commit and go outside with them. So that's quite a cool idea. Is that bomb just... Okay, I thought that had gone down in the map, it looked like. Kind of still does. It's weird, but it's fine.
I was pretty scared there that we might have to restart this, but Shox, he's not too keen on that idea. Going to be able to find them first. Kenny, it's a shooting gallery as they just go running out across in front of him, but instead it's Shox to step up. As between them they mop that round up. The Danes go running across, lost out in the open, and that will be punishable from the AWP.
Not really much North can do about that one. There it is, though. G2 with 5 rounds in a row on the CT half. They have been generally very good at Nuke throughout the history of this team. I actually kind of like that approach. They have had some very interesting strategies. It cost them a lot on this map. But we'll see whether they can continue that as we get into round 6 here. Another buy available for North. No AWP available. Can be on the AK-47, but not necessarily a huge deal. An AWP isn't necessary on the T-side of Nuke. It might help in certain situations, but as like Inferno in that aspect, it's good for opening things up, but once mid-round begins, it's not exactly ideal. But this looks like a little set piece coming in. Molotovs being thrown towards the hut there. Flashbangs coming in. They're going to fully commit by the looks of things. And Body, he's ready and waiting with the FAMAS. They go towards lower. I like that a lot, but Apex burning 2 alive. That's brilliant.
That's fantastic from him. Look at the deceased bodies of the guys from North. They're going to keep going for this, and MBK and Shox will punish them for it gladly. Cajun B, it hasn't ended well for anyone else, and he just tries to not fall down the death hole and instead dies on the outside of it. So there you go, kind of just like a a funnel, if you will.
So they did their set piece, right? The defaults haven't been working out for them. They've been getting secret control. They're just not getting that bomb down. So they go for the set piece. Obviously, the smoke's there and the flashbangs and the Molotov on the hut to try and get down that vent. The thing is, it's kind of obvious what they're doing. Once they've Molotov the hut and they've covered off that specific position with the smokes, all you have to do is throw that incendiary in, go for the spray for the smoke as well. Not only does the smoke cover them, it covers you, and you've got the silence them fall. They can't see where you're shooting from. You know exactly where the vent is. Spray in that general direction. You've got the fire down as well, and Apex mows through them. They die in the fire as well, and sure, it's a nice idea to throw a set piece in there. I think the set pieces are generally better when you're coming out the hut, squeaky door, focusing on the upper site. The vent dives can be quite cool, but multiple people down there, I'm not so sure. I think one at best when you're going towards outside, that can be quite an interesting idea, but getting that many people down there, it's always going to be problematic because you can just line your spray up there and shoot in that general direction. But 12-9, G2 looking very proficient here. No bomb planted once again. We haven't a single bomb plant as of yet for North. That's good news for them. Do have another buy here with the maximum loss bonus, but you can see they're being whittled away. Valda with no nades whatsoever. Apex waits in the vent this time, rotating potentially towards Secret. They get towards Hut. Very simple approach here. A couple of flashbangs in. No one in the upper side of the body. He doesn't seem to care. He finds that first headshot, and Kenny S doing work now as he drops the bomb in the upper side.
Shocks from outside, going to deliver that much more death. MSL and KGB, that's all that remains. And it was looking good for North. However, things have quickly turned south. MBK on the lurk in from behind. Leaves this all on MSL, but he's looking to try and take us home. As he finds the first on a Kenny, MBK will pounce. That lurk worth its weight in gold. As G2 get themselves a 13th. Going flawless right now on the CT side.
You're starting to see some of the weaknesses with the North side. It's actually very difficult to implement one player into a roster like this. North, historically, actually pretty good on Nuke, and they seem like they've run out of ideas at this point as well. Done the defaults, done the fakes, done the set pieces. Now, that was the upper rush with a couple of flashbangs as well. Nothing's really working out for them. They're not getting the bomb down whatsoever. If you don't get that bomb down, you're going to be struggling eventually. Even with maximum loss bonus, you're going to have to take an eco. 13-9, they go for the partial buy here. Deagles, arm up, one flashbang, a smoke as well as they go towards outside, hoping that someone gets overzealous here from the CT side. But still, we've got Shoxy and Kenny S. Quite a deadly duo, Harry, and they should have a chance to find a few more frags here.
Yeah, there were two Frenchmen I wouldn't want to run into. It would be these two, Shox and Kenny, between them, making quick work of this push. Down go 4 players, and AZ is the last man left. He's not able to get anything done. Apex picks him up there. G2, they go 14-9, and as you said, the cracks are really starting to show within this North T side. Haven't really seen them try anything over towards ramp. Maybe that's something we can see. It didn't work out for them in the pistol. But since then, you know, it feels like we've seen them try rushing A. They've tried the vents push. They've tried outside. It is the only place they haven't gone back to. It's just how much can you really do around that?
The fact of the matter is when they went towards Secret, they got full control. They had 5 players alive, but they just went towards the lower bomb set. They could get that control once again, then potentially fall back, try and force some rotations, then try and pincer from around from something like that. But you can see there's those fast smokes once again. Looks like they will be focusing towards outside. MSL to lead the charge here. He knows this was an area where they had success, not necessarily winning the round or getting the bomb down, but at least they had control. But Kenny is changing position. Good night sweep. Prince, okay, MSL stays alive somehow. I thought he was dead for sure, but he baits out the shot. Config gets something going here towards ramp. This is the ramp split coming in now, and this is looking quite good.
Yeah, both the players that were in... Oh, Apex has turned it around. Never mind, he takes 2. The 3-on-3 will ensue, and they're not going to account for Kenny. I think everyone should be dealt with within B, and not Kenny S. He's primed and ready to shut this down. Config is the last man left. Up on the rafters. Scurrying back into vents. He's going to look to try and wrap around first deal with Kenny, who right now is completely clueless. Good night. Kenny goes down. Config in with 2. Gets spotted, and Body will finish him off. 15-9. G2. They're going to take us to match point.
Here's the replay. I assume this is Apex doing some very good work there. Those are lovely shots. Well done to him. He could have got more there, but 2 frags that completely turned around on its head, and Kenny S there from Decon managed to deny the plant as well. That was obviously instrumental to winning the round. It's match point now for G2. Not a single round picked up. It's actually 9-0 for the G2 side here in the second half. Lovely stuff. No bomb planted. North look a bit up the depth here. G2 firing on all cylinders as we go into potentially the last round here. 4 AKs a Galil with utility, not much though. Towards outside they go once again, firing off some speculative shots there from Kenny S from heaven. Not going to get anything done just yet. Shoxy holding that same position Config was in the previous half, but frags him in. Shoxy through the smoke as well, gets 1, but Config, he's starting to reply now. We could have a round here for North.
Yeah, just as you say that, Body's going to step up. AZ's the last man left. 1v2 has to try and keep them in this, and the nade stack rains in. That's going to be a flawless second half from G2. Fantastic stuff, Henry.
Yeah, very good indeed. But I have to say, North looked a little bit out of their depth there. It's the first couple of weeks without it joining the lineup. Their T side looked a little bit weak. And AZ, he was absent there, finishing the game on 7 for 20. That's just not good enough. And that's why I said I was surprised he wasn't the one to go first, you know. But still, we'll throw it over to the boys at the desk. Guys, what do you think of that one?
A fantastic debut by Valde there, only to be upset by G2, who are looking like a much more well-rounded unit this evening. Everybody contributing where they had to, guys. I think G2 are clicking, and they're definitely, you know, feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, especially the fast-paced rounds in that first half, they really seem to be on point. We saw them doing, you know, the classic old, just basically rushing into the ramp with a little bit of a delay, or just going in an upper. And when you see individuals like Body going in for, well, a measly ace once he's hitting the bomb site, it does help a lot, doesn't it? But still, you know, they couldn't really build up on a lot of the slow-paced rounds. They could never get into a situation late into the round where they had the man advantage, and therefore, you know, they could rarely benefit from them.
I have a fact for you, Chad.
Is it an AZ fact?
No.
Okay.
There hasn't been a single bomb plant in this game.
That is a really good fact. I don't know if that's... Is that true?
I think that's such a good fact that it's enough for me for this segment.
I don't even... Is that true? I saw a bomb plant. Apex had to defuse in a 1v1.
Did you?
Against Cajun.
No.
There wasn't in that 1v1, wasn't
No. It's like just 3 times time ran out.
Oh.
For the T's.
I guess I wasn't paying much attention.
Wait,
And the rest of it was elimination.
Apex versus Cajun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
lower bomb site. Bomb was planted. 100% sure.
I don't see it.
Apex killed him.
I don't see it on HLTV, boys.
He says 100%.
HLTV is never wrong.
Well, that's where we get all our facts and do all our analysis from. And if you want some more crispy analysis, Henry touched on it there towards the end. AZ, 7 kills, 3 assists, 20 deaths. He was a weakness at ramps.
You know what that means, Chad?
AZ wasn't going crazy?
No. It means time to replace config.
Oh,
okay. No, I mean, jokes aside, it's only the first game for the new team, right?
He looked out of his depths at ramp because he was normally a top player.
Yeah, so it might be getting used to the new position, and you know, a couple of times he was caught off guard by the rushes from G2. Actually, that's what netted them a couple of very important rounds on the T side. So probably some more getting used to for him. Someone who doesn't seem to need any getting used to the new team is Valde. An amazing performance from him right from the start. So that's a good side, obviously.
Yeah.
So I feel it's just a matter of MSL having more time to figure out the roles and positions for everyone. We might not see AZ at ramp next week, you know, if they figure like that he just can't get used to playing that role.
Yeah, still work to do on the T side for North for sure. We see, you know, I was already very hopeful seeing the wall of smokes coming in, then going to the lower bomb side through exit and maybe see something cool coming from them. But, you know, then they realized maybe that they only had 1 smoke and, 4 or 5 flashes left. So it doesn't really give you a lot of opportunities when you're going down there. And they just slowed everything down. They ended up in between a rock and a hard place with 1 being pushed up and smoking the hallway and people already on yard.
Yeah, with Kenny S outside with the orb, once you're already pinned down secret, and then Apex is just smoking you off and Molotoving to delay you. You know, you just waiting down the clock, right? Something which North used to have was Magic's Boy, who would open up Squeaky Door with a nade, he'd throw the smoke, and then he'd push in towards the vent or drop down the vent, and he had a good way to, you know, either threaten the CTs from that position or go for some opening frags, and that's something that we didn't really see happen. We saw that round where they did a top rush, I suppose it was, and they got cooked. 2 of them died to a molly.
Everyone should take a leave off of Virtus Pros or Snacks' playbook.
Yeah, just get down that
vent. Spawn and vents every single round.
Take it all.
That's such an asshole way to play in the T side.
It feels like that's his mission on the map. It's not like winning the round. I just need to get into vents every single time. But yeah, it seemed like North early on, obviously you have to go for that yard control. You have to figure out the rotations from the CTs and how you can exploit that later on in the half. But I think they were just hoping to get some early fights going and maybe get an early opening while they're going for that yard push, while they're going for secret control. And G2 was just playing passive. They didn't, you know, give them any of that. So North, because of the force buys and because of the way the economy was going, they didn't really have enough utility to get onto the lower bomb side safely, plant the bomb, and then play the after-plant situation. They were just getting mowed down, and G2 had more than enough time to rotate and to fight them with numbers.
Both pistols again for G2, and we'll see if they'll be able to continue that through onto Cobblestone as North versus G2 on map 2 coming up after the break.